Hi, and welcome to another episode. Listen, guys, we are living in an era that is marked by rapid change and complexity, right? We can feel it, time is speeding up, things are shifting. And in order to navigate this evolving challenges that are coming up for us, continuous leadership education and development is no longer optional. It is essential. I think we can all see that we are lacking in strong, proper leadership, right? We are, quite frankly, in a leadership crisis. And while many of our leaders possess some of the best informal education and gone to some of the best schools in the country, they have some of the, technical expertise in managing teams and operating businesses, their leadership can often lack depth. Now, what do I mean by depth? Well, Aristotle said that knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. So, without a grounded sense of self and the ability to reflect and evolve, our leaders will struggle to navigate the demands of the times ahead. And we again can see this. We see that there is a lot of disconnect, not just between the leaders and the teams that they're leading or the people and the community that they're leading, but there's a disconnect within themselves. This new era is calling for leaders to go beyond just the standard skill development and to really embrace a new paradigm of business and personal growth. Now, this style of leadership is often challenging for today's leaders and organizations as they're caught up in the day-to-day operations. They're caught up in all of the things and the people that are pulling at them. They're caught up with the shiny objects, right? They're caught up responding to the next media thing, the fires over here, and some of them are trying to strike this balance as well between prioritizing profits and revenues and at the same time valuing people. Many CEOs and senior managers may commit to building a profitable, people-centered business, but they could really benefit from strengthening the competencies and the processes needed to effectively guide their organization in that way. Now, think about this. The fact that in a 2018 Harvard Business Review, they found that 10% of leaders are self-aware. 10%, right? And that tells us that there is this huge gap right now of leaders who are not doing that inner work, that they're not connected. That's where that disconnect is. This is why I talk so much about evolutionary leadership, because, you know, evolutionary leadership, it does encompass, several different types of competencies, systems thinking, strategic foresight, emotional intelligence. But I want to talk today about starting at the work of self, starting at the beginning, starting at the foundation of it all. Self-awareness is one of the most important skills for any leader to have, but that's just one aspect of self-work. And as an evolutionary leader, you view yourself as an integral part of the whole. You see the whole picture and you see yourself as being a part of it. You're not like at this pedestal looking down. You're a part of this. And so this is why being a self-reflective and having a self-reflective practice is really important for thriving during these times that we're moving into, to be able to have foresight about what is to come and how to prepare your team and your organization for these shifts. Now, you know, I know some of you, when you hear self-reflecting, you're thinking, well, who has time to journal and sit in silence and meditate? And it's, being self-reflective is more than just this. In fact, it's a skill that will help you gain clarity, self-awareness, and emotional resilience. It helps you become more present and thoughtful about your behaviors and your decisions as a leader. For those of you that are new to leadership, for those of you that are looking to even move into leadership roles, I would encourage you to start this practice to be able to help and prepare you, because these are some of the types of skills that you don't really often get a chance to practice, that aren't talked about, right? That isn't cultivated once you move into the role. What typically happens is you're doing good work, you've been there long enough, you're given a promotion, now you have, maybe two or three people that you're leading or managing, so to speak. And then you get in this management role and you miss this whole layer of moving into being a leader. Self-reflection is going to allow you to be able to pause, assess your behaviors, your decisions, and align your actions with your values. And this is such a great model to have for your team, no matter how large or small. This is a very intentional practice, which is an important characteristic to leadership. And I found that leaders that take time in making decisions, or answering questions and are thoughtful in their approach, they actually make the less amount of mistakes. In fact, did you know that J.D. Rockefeller Sr. was a deeply reflective leader? He was known to be what they call an active leader. There's a story that was shared about him that he um, lived amongst with all of his leaders, because he was in the oil business, and they all lived like in the same area. I don't know if you watched that show, The Landman on Paramount. It's such a good show. Anyway, if you watch that, you'll see what I mean by that. But he would get up in the morning and on his way to the office, he would walk and listen to his leaders. They had his ear, right? And so that amount of time gave him time to take in the information that he needed, consider some things, process that information before he made decisions. That's the sign of a good leader. I have even incorporated some nightly moments of reflections for myself where I try to sit down and answer at least 3 to 4 questions in order to reflect on my day. Now, my questions might look different from yours depending on what you want to reflect upon, but here are just a few examples of what some of those questions could be. How do I respond how did I respond to challenges or setbacks today? All right. Did I align my actions with my values? And if not, what held me back? Why didn't I do that? Did I notice patterns in how I approach team dynamics or problem solving or decision making? These are big things, right? To keep us aware of our behaviors and how we respond. And then what would success look like for me next week, tomorrow, beyond metrics, right? And so this helps to keep us grounded, present, and looking at not just what the team is doing, but what we're doing and how we can improve every day and being a model for that. Being a more reflective leader is the foundation of your growth and your evolution. And I use a 5-tier pyramid that represents this process for leadership alchemy. And you start at the base of that pyramid with self-reflection, examining your beliefs and your biases while grounding yourself in the values, right? In your values. Do you even know what your values are and what you stand for? And the truth of who you are and how you want to live out your life. Leaders today are also facing obstacles that look significantly different from those in the past, like just 10 years, 15 years ago, right? You're looking at managing multi-generational teams, everything from, Gen X, millennials to Gen Z. We're looking at a post-COVID office space, a resistance to returning to office, and how to work effectively with remote workers only or even hybrid teams, right? So these are so different dynamics of leadership now. And this is why we can't look at, we can't look at leadership the same way. We can't go about it in the same way. Also, we've got burnout. It's a real thing. And unrealistic expectations, right? All of these things are at an all-time high. So these are some topics that I'm going to be covering over the next few weeks to help you sort of navigate and moving and ushering you into this new space of leadership. But truly, by engaging in a self-reflective practice, you're going to be able to reduce stress. You're going to become more thoughtful in your decision making. You're going to be able to be more reflective about your own behaviors and your patterns, and you're going to deepen your leadership style. I hope you found some benefits from this video today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share with others.